how are they any different than ours?
What are you ordering?
Sandwich, nuggets, kids meal.
Special
it's
orders?
Nothing
Anything
special.
No. Lack of pickles?
Not like
Yes.
that.
Oh, you
order no pickle?
Oh, no pickle. There you go.
That's
not
your answer. Pickles are standard.
Don't tell me it's going to be.
If you order no pickle,
We just figured it out.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 222 of The Mashup, the shortest bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Kenny, Steven, and Anthony. Hello, gents.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Try.
He's already a try.
Yep.
It's done.
I'm going to be pass.
Anthony?
I am, I don't know where I'm at.
See you Friday. Boom.
That literally is the shortest bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. I love it. No, that's great. How are you guys doing?
Doing fine this evening.
Yeah, it's
Another cold day in paradise.
another cold day in the bluegrass.
And speaking of bluegrass,
There you go.
tonight's bottle is Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve 15-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, yeah. That one was quick. Yes, so this bottle, the Elkwood 15-year reserve, comes to us from the Bluegrass Distillers right here in Lexington, right? Their home base is here in Lexington, right?
They were, but they actually moved. I don't know if it's still considered
They
Lexington
still have
now.
the tasting room, though, or no?
Well, I think they're still called Lexington.
All right. Well, Stevens, hold on. So the bottle date is 2024. Whoa, that was quite the cork pop there. ABV 61.5, proof 123. Ooh, sounds delicious. Age 15 years. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. And the MSRP on this, which might I add, is a pick for Paddock Bourbon Club and Banners. It's selected by Paddock Bourbon Club by Banners. Very nice.
Should be $2.99.
Is it $2.99 MSRP?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I said $200.
No.
Sorry, I was
It is
trying to tell you
$2.99.
$2.99. My bad. So $299 for this 15-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And gentlemen, what do you think of this bottle?
It's pretty.
It's pretty. I like the pick band along the bottom.
Okay, so you like the little gold pick band? Mm-hmm. I actually like the gold accents throughout the label. Gold and blue, very simple wine bottle, very nice.
Like an E.H. Taylor bottle? Or
Yeah.
Not really? Or sort
Yeah,
of?
kind of E.H. Taylor, right?
Yeah.
It's very elegant. It says Midway, Kentucky, right on the bottle. I said Lexington because Bluegrass. Do they still have the tasting room down by West 6th or not?
They actually got since they've grown so much, they bought that big, huge farm in Midway. So I don't think you can really call them Lexington anymore.
And look what it says on the back because I'm an idiot
Midway,
and can't
Kentucky.
read. No, it says
Lexington, Kentucky, though.
Lexington, Kentucky. It says
But it's Midway
bottled
now, so-
by Bluegrass Distillers, Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay, so they're
yeah.
bottling plant
But
now.
look
Right.
at
What?
look at the paragraph.
What's the paragraph says?
Third line.
Yeah, it does say Midway, Kentucky. So it's it's Midway and Lexington. You just get a little bit of both. What's wrong with that? I mean, Midway's only, 25, 30 minutes away from
That just
Lexington
happened
anyway?
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just outgrew their Lexington place.
Well, Steven, do you remember we did a Bluegrass Distillers bottle on episode
Maybe 14.
14?
Long time
A
ago.
long time ago. It seems like another time warp. But I do remember thinking that bottle had a lot of potential, and that was their own stuff that they distilled. This is not their own stuff. This is the famed, elusive, controversial Buffalo Turkey.
Buffalo Turkey.
Yeah, Steven, do you even know about this?
So this is like Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. Is that it?
It might be.
It's close.
It's close. It's so, Kenny, you could probably do a better job of elaborating on this than I could, but both of us have actually been out to the warehouse where a lot of these barrels are being stored. I went there with Ryan Lentz and Cameron and others. Bo was there. We got to have him on the podcast. And we sampled a whole bunch of these, and they did pick some that day. And then you actually went on this pick, correct?
I went on actually this pick, right?
This pick, okay. Oh, so I'm expecting to be wowed by this, Kenny Mills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Putting his name.
His name's on.
Yeah.
His name's on it.
My name is not on the pick.
Oh, you just said you picked it.
I was on the pick.
He was on the pick.
We definitely picked the best barrel that day.
Okay. So do you want to talk a little bit about this? Because it is,
Yeah.
this whiskey is probably some of the hottest whiskey out there right now. When I say hottest, I mean There's a lot of it being bottled under different labels, not just Elkwood, which is Bluegrass's label, but River Roots has some. Other private groups, this Rare Character has some. Everybody has it, right?
Tons of pit groups. They're under the Brook Hill label for Rare Character.
Yep.
River Roots, several of them, tons of them. But I mean, lots of labels, lots of pit groups have them.
Right.
So with this, Stephen, I'm not sure if you're even familiar with how all this stuff has been going on with this, but this is wild turkey that was contract distilled at Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
So
I know, it's a little weird.
So turkey juice that was just hanging out of Buffalo Trace.
No.
Actually, Buffalo Trace ran the still with Wild Turkey's recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff floating around that 100%. You hear people say, I definitely know this, but somebody else will say, I definitely know the opposite of what they said.
Right.
So we do know that it was Wild Turkey contract distilled this at Buffalo Trace. It is to Wild Turkey's mash bill of what, 75, 13, 12?
Yeah, 75,
right?
13, 12, yeah.
Now, this went into the barrel at 125 proof. Turkey goes in much lower.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, mysterious.
Was this before you go on? Was this turkey's ingredients that they sourced, or did they let Buffalo Trace source?
That's what I'm going to bring up right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't know that.
So you have got, I've had literally for the next two things I'm going to talk about, I've had people that are quote unquote in the know, definitive. They saw either the bill of lading or they saw the secret papers or whatever, have two different answers. So what is not known is this Buffalo Trace's grains just done to Wild Turkey's mash bill?
Okay.
Or did Wild Turkey drive their grains or have their grain people drive it up there?
You're right.
I've heard both ways on that. And then is this Wild Turkey's yeast or is this Buffalo Trace's yeast? I've heard definitive yes
On both.
On both.
Of course, definitive on both. Yeast, get the yeast.
My guess is that, I mean, if I were to have to put money on it, I would say it's Buffalo Trace's yeast. And the reason I would do that, to put money on it, is yeast in the bourbon game is very proprietary, very secretive, very sought after, very wow.
Right.
I just don't see, unless Wild Turkey literally had a person on site with their own yeast, with Wild Turkey's yeast, and they dumped it in as part of the process.
Only one handling it.
And only a Wild Turkey employee. So I'm gonna go on record and say this is Buffalo Trace yeast, unless a Wild Turkey employee was there with the yeast and he was the only one handling it. Because I just don't think
This is great.
If you're a distillery, you wouldn't just hand over
your
a bunch
yeast,
of yeast
yeah.
to somebody
Buffalo
else.
Trace could
Right.
easily reverse
There's no
it.
or
reverse
do
engineer
anything
that.
with it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. So I would guess that.
You know how people always joke about like rolling a barrel out of a warehouse when they're on a pick? Like, I'm going to steal a barrel. Like, no, me, I'm going to go steal the yeast. But anyway, go ahead,
Yeah.
Kenny.
So, but it was
What a
aged
fun
at
guy.
Wild Turkey.
Yeah, aged at Wild Turkey.
Now, this was distilled in 2009, and there's a lot of bad misinformation on that going around.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So many people said that this was distilled at Buffalo Trace. They were contracting it out because they had shut down, Wild Turkey shut their stills down.
Right. I heard that. I
But
did hear that.
the thing is, they didn't shut their stills down until, I believe, mid-2010 or something,
Right.
late 2010.
Was that during the big remodeling thing or big construction
Well,
thing?
so in 2011, Wild Turkey began to distill at their new place that they currently still now. So they were using the old ripey still before. So a lot of people, especially because they're trying to sell and hype up these bottles, were saying, this is the same distillate as Russell's 15.
Oh, yeah, I
Russell's
heard that.
15 was 2009 distillate. But that's just not true. There's so many epic Russell's picks over there
Right.
that are all 2009 Camp Nelson F6s.
How could that happen?
And some of those are bottled at 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 13 years. All amazing, epic stuff. That tastes nothing like this at all. A lot of people have hyped these up a lot just to sell their group picks. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to name names, but man, people talking about this stuff being BTAC caliber, Russell's 15 caliber.
Right.
One guy said it's like CGF caliber, and dude, no, you must have not drank any CGFs, or else you're literally just lying.
And when that guy said that, guess who commented immediately?
Who could that be?
Yeah, I started. Yeah,
His initials are KM.
yeah. But
Kenny keeping him honest.
I mean, come on, man.
No, I agree.
I know
with
you're
you,
trying.
man.
I know they're trying to sell bottles, but no, dude, just
Yeah.
be honest with people.
Yeah, people are
So-
romanticizing this juice, if you will. They're romanticizing it, telling all kinds of stories about it. And at the end of the day, we know exactly what Kenny just said, where it came from, what it is, but there's some unknowns about it, right?
Yeah, but this is, so when you got Russell's 15, and when you have all these Camp Nelson F6 picks from 09, all stuff, that was not the stuff distilled at Buffalo Trace. It tastes nothing like these at all. And like I said, David Jennings, and I was trying to find on his blog, but the current still that they ran all this 09 stuff on, Russell's 15, all the stuff, they either shut it down at the very end of 2009 or mid 2010, something like that.
Okay.
So, and basically now 2009 is when Campari bought Wild Turkey from Pernod Ricard or whatever.
Okay.
So chances are they had contracts with actually Pernod must have had contracts probably in place with Buffalo Trace already.
Okay.
Because things don't happen like that fast in the industry, I don't believe, right?
I don't think so.
So chances are they already had that,
What are you gonna say?
some actual contracts in place. And I will tell you this, man, they're just, I mean, I'm not going to say these are reject bottles or barrels, but that's kind of a harsh word to use, but it's definitely not your traditional Wild Turkey flavors. So people that are comparing to Russell's 15, I just don't see it at all. And I've taken kind of a harsher stance than most on this, all of these. I admit that. But part of that is just the overhype by everybody that had these and trying to sell
Right.
those and peddle those.
I told that story about how when I went to Bluegrass Distillers with Ryan and Cam and Bo, we were in the midst of tasting things. And
Oh, yeah.
all of a sudden, the owner, Kobe, he said, I like the way you guys are going through this and tasting and stuff. He kind of complimented us because we're really putting things through their paces. He said, like, I had this guy in here a week or two ago and just said he didn't like anything. And I was like, oh, my God. I'm like, I know who that is. And I was like, ball guy? He was like, yeah, that was Kenny. I told this story before, but I had to tell it again. And so I was like, well, I'm like, he's the guy that we podcast with. He's my buddy. I'm like, he just has a different perspective. So, yes, I was just bookending the fact that you have taken a pretty harsh stance on this stuff. But I'm excited because I don't know. We tasted this with our best of 2024, and I know it didn't rate that highly for us. We've talked about that. But independently now, having a chance to taste it away from the field, Steven, it's your first time tasting it. I'm excited to see what we think.
Yeah, and so to talk about, this pick specifically was with Paddock and KSD and banners, all that together.
Right.
And when we got there, there was 5 barrels pulled out, and honestly, people were trying to be a little polite because there's some experienced whiskey bourbon guys there, and we're all like, okay, yeah, let's rule 1 or 2 out, and everybody was just being too polite. So I just told them, I'm like, none of these are good, like at all whatsoever. Like, you have more barrels or what? And so they did bring out 3 more barrels.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All 3 of the barrels they brought out blew away the first 5 they gave us. So I don't know why they gave us those first 5. My guess is they've been pulled out as part of pick programs, and they got picked over. Mm-hmm. So we were just tasting the pick over stuff because it just was not good at all.
The rejects.
But the next 3 they brought out, all 3 of the next 3 blew away the first 5 they gave us. So we ended up picking one of these here. And I said it was the best thing we tasted that day. It was actually the second best we tasted that day. The very best we tasted that day was a super, super short barrel.
Okay.
It would have probably yielded 20 to 25 bottles.
Oh, yikes.
And unfortunately, then at least, I think they've changed. I've heard from a couple people they've changed their stance now because they knew that's just not feasible. But they were charging the same. They actually charge per barrel, not per bottle.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So yeah, so whatever
Those are
the
expensive bottles.
dude. Yeah. So like, well, we can't lose money. I'm like, no, you actually can. That's part of the thing. You actually bought those from a barrel broker,
Right?
And that's just part of you win some, you lose some. You make a lot of money on some, less on others, and it averages out. So they did change their stance on that, from what I've been told from a few people.
There you go.
But the best thing we tasted was it was a super shorty, probably 20, 25 bottle yield. But this was pretty good. Best I remember. I ended up buying a bottle of it.
Well, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Well, should we go for our first nosy?
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think by the end of this episode, we're going to find out the origin of the drones in New York and New Jersey as well.
We got it all.
Chinese spies, dog.
There you go.
Here's what's funny though. We have to. So for Steven, first time's having this, you'll give it your score. Me and Anthony have to score this, and I want to score it without going back and looking at what we scored it during the best of blinds.
Do you know what I scored it as?
I don't.
You don't?
I truly
Okay.
don't, and I have no idea what I scored it either.
I don't either. Yeah, I was going to say. Here
Well,
we
I
go.
do.
Oh, you do? Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Proprietary.
Yeah.
It's my scores are along with those papers for these barrel transfer. It's very proprietary. Wow. So to me, this nose is loaded with like. So if my kids are making the gingerbread house, and you're like, wait, no, there's no ginger. I'm talking about all the candy and frosting and everything they're putting on top of it.
Bingo.
Very, very sweet. Nose anyway, for sure. It's just like got a lot of different sugary kind of sweetness going on that's coming off the nose. Strawberry confectioner, little bit of
It's got like a shortbread, warm shortbread.
warm
Nope.
shortbread. Yeah, it's a lot going on with the nose in a good way. Yeah, absolutely.
No, definitely in a good way.
Yeah.
What's the proof? 123. Not a lot of ethanol pop.
No,
23
No,
proof.
definitely not. No, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, fruity on the nose too. Not a lot of ethanol pop. I like that.
You know what you just made me think of because I'm hungry. Recording, I'm hungry.
Taco Bell.
After I left Bluegrass Distillers, I went down to McDonald's right there on Leestown Road
With all those ingredients?
with all those ingredients. We love the bench of McDonald's. And I got I don't know, a double cheeseburger, a McChicken, and a small French fry.
Did it
right?
McRib?
No, just the McRib. Is it still back right now?
I don't know.
So I literally sat there. They told me to pull up, and I'm sitting there. There's nobody in this drive-through. I pull around. They're like, pull up and wait. So after I was waiting, I legit waited like 11 minutes, which is 11 minutes too long for
Holy
McDonald's
crap.
with nobody. So I get out of my car. I go in there, and I said, I don't know where my food's at, but I just like my money back. And the guy's like, what? I'm like, I've been sitting there 12 minutes waiting for a cheeseburger and a McChicken. I don't want it anymore. I just want to leave. He's like, what'd you have? Just gives me money out of the register. I was like, I paid with a credit card. He's like, that's okay. Just gives me like my money back out of it. And I went back to campus and I ate something on campus. But it was like, what the heck?
There's something that bothers me every time the five of us or four of us go to Chick-fil-A.
Uh-oh.
Don't
you say it.
We go through the
bad thing
drive-thru.
about Chick-fil-A, the best.
right?
It's the best.
They only have so many items on the menu, right?
Right.
Nuggets, strips, sandwich. I can't imagine they don't just mass make these things, right?
Well, they got to be fresh.
Well, I know they have to be fresh. We order nothing fancy, right? And we sit there, we pull up, and we end up sitting there forever. Meanwhile, like 3, 4, 5 cars behind us are getting their orders. I'm like, how are they any different than ours?
Ah.
What are you ordering?
Sandwich, nuggets, kids meal. I mean,
Special
it's
orders?
Nothing
Anything special?
No.
Lack of pickles?
Not like
Yes.
Oh, you
order no pickle?
Oh, no,
No
pickle.
pickle.
There you
Well,
go.
that's
not
your
bad.
answer. Pickles are standard.
Don't tell me it's because of me.
It's If you order no pickle,
We
it's
just figured it
Hang
out.
on. You just said they mash produce. Yes, they do. But they mash produce with pickles. That's a standard condiment.
But that's going to be soggy if they put them on too early.
No pickle.
No.
So it takes them that long not to put a pickle on
I
it.
order no because they have to wait
Make
till
it
all the
fresh.
other make it. Yeah.
Oh, my God, Steve.
See,
I
Did you
love
really
it.
just solve the problem?
We just
I order
troubleshooted
extra
you.
pickles, dude.
And what, that take you more time?
I love the pickles, dude.
Yes.
Carry on.
This is great. All right. Wait, are you guys tasting this too? I mean, we're kind of doing all
Yeah,
in
let's
one
go.
Let's go
area.
and taste it.
Man, I get this eruption of like candy on the palate. I don't know if it's runts, but I get like a sweet candy, hard candy out of it.
Strawberry. I get a strawberry note. Little waxy. When I say waxy, like waxy in a good way.
Like on the outside of a
Like
candy.
like a waxy candy.
Not like a Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi.
You're eating Miyagi? Is that where you went?
What's that?
Is that where you went?
There
You've
you
been
go.
eating them?
Exactly.
Wax on, wax off.
I just think about that. What was his name?
Love
Silo
you
or
long
whatever. At the end of the whatever one that was, where he goes like this. He like yells at him to call him out. He goes Miyagi. It's certain movie lines get stuck in my head, and that's probably one of the one word that just stuck there from the Karate Kid series. And what's the other guy that's like, kick his ass, Johnny, and he's laughing like a hyena. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Who could forget that part, right? Yeah. So there you go. I don't know why we're talking about that now.
Have you watched the next Karate Kid, the whole series?
I did not watch it yet. Have you?
Oh yeah, I've watched it. I mean, it's fun, or it's cool or fun for me, just because I watched the movies as a younger kid, growing up. But it's like very cheesy and corny. So it's So if you never watched any of the movies growing up, then you would probably hate that TV show.
Right. I'm getting a little bit of honey as well. Yeah, that's it's
very
golden.
fruity, man.
It's fruity, clovery, honey.
Oaky though too. There's like a twang in there. It's very oaky.
Your strawberry note is it's kind of faint.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting it.
It's just right at the beginning. I've been using that strawberry a lot lately, right? Because I've been just tasting it a lot. But yeah, the waxy honeycomb is in there a little bit toward the back palate. Manukan honey. It's Manukan honey. I think that's what it's called. You guys are like, okay, get this guy out of here. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Boop, 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 boop. So, what do y'all think, man? I mean, finish wise, Kenny, you said this is the second best one that you guys had that day. I'd like to try the first best one. When I was tasting with Ryan and Cam, I thought that there were. See, again, I hate to say it like this because it sounds like I didn't like it. It's one of those things where I liked most of what I tried, but I didn't think it stood out. And I think that there were probably 2 or 3 out of maybe 8 that we tried that I thought were good and had promise.
Yeah.
And we made a decision on that. And then after I left, they found 2 of their favorite barrels that I think we got to taste when we got to River Roots, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were already there. And they were good. They were very good.
So, I mean, most of these have came through Bluegrass Distillers. I believe what I don't know the original barrel broker on these, but most of the picks that you've seen have, at least to my knowledge, gone through Bluegrass Distillers.
Okay.
So as far as pricing goes, Bluegrass has had some of the strongest prices. Some of theirs have been $249. I think this was $299. But basically $250 to $299 is where these have been. And what's something to note for people that have been buying these or might be buying these coming up, because now they're releasing them as 16-year-old. So now you start to see some 16-year-old stuff coming out. Some of these were toted, and then you got some of them in barrels. The ones that were in totes, from what I've tasted, have not tasted near as good as the single barrels. So like OKI 15 was a tote. I think Sealbox 15 was a tote. They were not good.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting?
And I could be wrong on the OKI 15. It might have been single barrel, but I thought it was toted. But either way, it wasn't good.
Bluegrass has an actual press release, but I don't know the date on this. It's on their website where they're announcing the availability of the 15-year-old Elkwood at their gift shop. And 113 proof. This is 113 proof. It says, opens with notes of vanilla and honey, followed by ripe stone fruit, plum and cherry.
Everything we just said.
Mid palate of clove and orange zest, finishes with rich layers of black pepper, leather, and tobacco. Now, this was their very first release.
Yeah.
At their gift shop, and they did it for $225. I think that after that went through,
after that sold so good,
I think everything went up. Mm-hmm. So, but they do have that limited. It says, actually, it says that some of these were going to be available at Bourbon Outfitter in this press release, but this is when did that come obviously out? Something that was done. It doesn't have a date on it. Okay. It just says it was something that they had on their own website. So that's pretty interesting. Oh, there's a blind.
Huh? I got a new thing.
What you know about that?
I need a tiny bit more of the regular. Sorry. Actually, the whole goal I had here was just to drink Kenny's delicious whiskey that he paid money for. And that's what I'm doing. Do you need more of this delicious whiskey that Kenny paid money for?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you.
Was this the blind Kenny right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't usually do a blind on a short, but Kenny just feeling pretty frisky there tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling something. How about that?
To be continued.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah. How about that?
I'm trying to find something. There we go. Jeez. Elkwood But so for Bluegrass Distillers, first thing I ever had from them was like, it was at Walmsley's house, because I think Walmsley knows one of the other owners really good, their neighbors maybe or something.
Okay.
But it was like some, either blue corn or experimental or something, and it wasn't good at all.
I think we had their bottle and bond. Is that what we reviewed? Maybe they have a bottle and bond, like a 4-year.
Maybe,
Don't
but
remember exactly.
I don't remember. It was. I thought it had promise.
but this one,
Corn.
oh, and I do stand corrected. It looks like I said earlier, $2.99. It looks like for this is on Paddock's website at $2.49.
Oh, $2.49.
So I'm assuming Banners and Paddock are both the same, $2.49.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it didn't go higher than what we were saying.
Yeah, or might it? Well, I know that Still Box and those guys were $2.99 on theirs, but
So the range is 225 to 300. It seems.
I'd say
like
250 to
maybe more.
300.
250.
But I've seen other groups though that are $3.99.
Right.
The Brook Hill was $4.99 or $5.99 with
Oh
this
yeah,
in
the
it.
Brook Hill's been. My goodness.
And that's with this same stuff, My guess is where, Pablo has got a good in is he might have got there before other people did to get,
Oh, it's possible.
So,
Anything's
better
possible.
barrels. Who knows? But to pour y'all
Surprised it-
blind.
Yeah, the blind nose is not catching as much sweetness on the nose.
But I can say legitimately between 3 different times of tasting these, I have legitimately tasted over 40 barrels of this Wild Turkey Buffalo Trace stuff.
Really?
Legit
Wow.
over 40 barrels.
I'd
So-
say
So there's
I know
nothing
I'm a little
special.
more critical, but I feel I've earned that because
10 to 15 for
I
me.
have tasted that many of them.
Wow.
No. I'm going to go back to the original now. I did the blind. I think the blind's got a great palate, better than the nose, in my opinion. Man, there's just something about the Elkwood I'm going back to that's sweeter.
I agree. There's nothing bad with the blind.
No, the blind's good whiskey.
I think there's something a little bit
yeah.
bringing me back to the Elkwood.
I'm gonna laugh if it's like Russell's 15 or something like that. that would be very telling. Here's the thing: the nose on the blind, not loving it. Palate on the blind, loving it. But I still like coming back. The softness. There's like a velvetyness to the Elkwood, where the blind is more punchy. I have no idea what you've done here, Kenny. I'm completely stumped.
Yeah, no, I poured for the blind. I poured a less expensive, same proof as this though, way younger. It's Elijah Craig B523.
That's Elijah Craig.
B523.
Really? Okay.
So a $79 bottle.
Right. Just a little more raw.
And the reason I poured that is I've had a lot of people say on there that, or have people talk about, a lot of these, because I've been critical, but some other people are even more critical, and they're like, oh, I'd rather have Elijah Craig barrel proof. Well, there's not many Elijah Craig barrel proofs that taste as good as this stuff. So I did want to throw that out there to put that out there. Now, the thing is, though, let's say you grabbed like a B520.
Oh yeah.
Or you grabbed a B518. Now, those are going for 150 to 175, but those are two of the best, non-pirate label Elijah Craig barrel proofs. Those might give this a run for its money at 125 to 175. So that's where I'm at on this. Is I did buy one of these, and that's just where you got to determine, is it really worth $250? Or a lot of groups have been $300 to $350.
Wow.
$400.
Right.
So to me, and we'll do a pass try by here in a little bit, but I'll wait and talk about that on my pass try by.
Okay.
It actually might be time for that now, right?
I think it is.
We should go for it.
Yeah.
Fellas, would you pass, try, or buy on the Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve Bourbon?
So I'm going to go first here. And do we have to give a rating here?
We got to give a score too.
Give it a rating. Okay. I'm going to go with a 7.5. And what's funny is 7.5 is kind of like where I put whiskeys I liked a lot, but didn't quite tip the scale 100% for me. But I actually think, Kenny, the blind highlighted this for me and made me want it more. And so,
But you're 3 times the price.
at 3 times the price, though.
3 times the price.
Okay, here's where my tateriness comes out. I really did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it enough I'm considering right now, as we sit here tonight, if it's still available, I am thinking about going and buying a bottle if it's still available.
I would recommend that.
Yep. And so I think that I'm actually going to be a buy at 7.5. Even though I'm rating a 7.5, I think it's a buy.
You may go next, Steven.
You can go.
All right. Well, I'm going to take 1 second. So anything 7.5.
7.5 for me. I'd love to see how that compares to my original score. I'm actually going to get on my phone right now while you're talking and see if I can figure it out.
So what I did was I had a little bit of the sample bottle left of that Prideful Goat.
Yep.
Which was a 15-year.
Yep.
And I just poured that to try against this. And this is a lot better than the Prideful Goat. It actually makes me want to lower my Prideful Goat score.
Oh, wow. Revisionist.
But I think I'm going to rate this higher than I did during the blinds.
Okay.
But keep in mind, during the blinds, it's next to 4 other bourbons, you know?
Right.
So I'm going to give this a 7.25.
I'm actually in the blind sheet right now looking to see what you gave it.
Actually, I'm going to go,
Okay. Do you want me to tell you right now?
not yet.
Hold on.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go 7.0. 7.0.
7.0.
Because I like it, but that oak, it's a different kind of oakiness. It kind of just draws me up.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 7.0.
All right.
And are you a pass, try, or buy?
So so here's the thing. On the day that we picked that, we went back to Paddock after that, and we picked either an Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace with like a sample pit kit, or pick some stuff. So let's just say I was at least half satch or 3/4 satch. And so I made an Instagram post, which was a Facebook post too, from the mashup group, telling everybody of our listeners potentially, or anybody that follows our group, to be cautious and careful about buying these.
Sorry, I don't know if I remember this.
You need to look back. Yeah, I was like,
he edited it like 9 times.
Edited it 9 times because I was 3/4 sash when I made that post. But
so great.
Me saying that was not about this bottle that we picked. Me saying that was the first 5 barrels they presented us, which were horrible. Like, they were horrible. So there's going to be a lot of this stuff floating around that is not good. So the listeners need to understand that. There's a lot of that stuff that's not good. So I recommend, in general, do not buy any of these unless you taste it first, or you thoroughly trust the person that's telling you that it's good and they recommend to buy it. Because I've tasted literally over 40 of these, and there's a vast majority I would not buy. This one, I am between a try and a buy. I bought a bottle, and I don't regret buying a bottle. Part of that is it's just, honestly, you're kind of like, it's cool and neat because you've got something that, you got 2 big legacy distillers.
Right.
That one contracted with the other, and that crap just doesn't happen like that usually.
Right.
You know?
Really
So it's really
unique.
it's like part of history too. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Let me take one more drink of this. Just poured a little bit more to decide whether I'm gonna try or buy. Now I will say this: if this was I paid $200 for this.
Right.
As KSD members, we got a discount.
Okay.
I'm assuming I can say that on air. If not, there was what are they going to?
Nobody knows what that is anyway.
Yeah, but but at
Secret Society.
I don't know, but at $249, this is way cheaper than most any other group puts those out for.
Right.
Yeah, $249. I'm gonna be a buy on this one. So, and I believe Paddock still has some left. Banner should have some left. Because what I'm thinking on this is, let's say for example, Old Granddad 16-year 100 proof,
Right.
which you loved.
It's funny.
Although your blind score, so
My
you
blind
didn't love
score
it,
said I didn't love it. Yeah.
but you loved.
yeah.
That's $199.
Right.
This is $249.
Right.
This crushes that to me.
Right.
So now, don't get me wrong. I can 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, pull out some $120 to $150 bottles that are better than this. So, but we don't always just drink whiskey as just what the whiskey only is. What's the mystique? What's the coolness? You're sharing with friends. You're talking about it, and you can bring up a huge conversation about when you open this bottle with somebody.
Right.
That's a 45-minute conversation about
Absolutely.
stuff.
100%.
So for this exact one, which blows away the first 5 that they had there for us,
Right.
I'm definitely a buy.
Ooh, it's
at
another
$249.
He got there. He got there to a buy. I like it.
All right, I'm gonna score it a 7.25,
Okay.
Okay,
and
almost did that.
that's when you said that. I was like, oh my goodness.
You're reading Steven's mind over here. Reading his mind.
I really like the bottle, but for the price, I was kind of wanting more of a flavor ride. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kind of give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
just
fair.
because- just for the price, I was kind of expecting like just a little bit more of a ride.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of harsh, but
It's not harsh.
But it's just an expensive bottle, and
Yeah.
I
No,
wanted
it's
more.
expensive.
Wanted when I was drinking it.
Because don't get me wrong, I think if I pulled out an Elijah Craig B518, now granted, that's 6 years old, but you can still grab them on secondary for 175. I think that's going to be a lot better than this. But this story, the bottle,
The story
the
is
behind
really-
this is
really
just it's
cool.
cool, man.
Yeah.
So
Well, Kenny, do you want to know real quickly what you scored for the best of 2024?
my guess is probably like a 6.5.
You gave it a 6.5.
All right, so
And
I
today
went-
you
I went
gave
7.
it a 7. That's fine.
It's close enough.
I gave it an 8, and today I went 7.5, right?
We both are
Gotcha.
half off.
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
pretty good.
still in the range, and that
Yep.
actually is nice because it lets me know that I'm not like, I'm not deceiving myself, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thing about this ranking that's really cool, so
Yeah.
I love to see that.
And I will say, I mean, if I've had several listeners DM me about different bottles. Feel free to DM me if you are interested in some of these.
More than bottles. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm just having fun with you, Kenny.
I know. I'm just saying, DM me because this is the most economically priced of the Wild Turkey Buffalo Trace
I agree.
stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you are interested in some, DM me. I can grab it. We can work out a pickup later on if they're not in the area. Because honestly, man, it's one of the better ones I've had. That is that Wild Turkey Buffalo Trace, collab.
There you go. You got to meet Kenny in the hills of Eastern Kentucky. Woo woo.
For a big boom.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
Head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts at the bottom of the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.